Memorial Day is almost here, and today volunteers turned out in Central Point to make sure fallen veterans will be remembered.
Newswatch 12's Rob Scott joins us now from the Central Point Cemetery, where earlier today he spoke with volunteers about their efforts to restore that area.
With just days until Memorial Day celebrations here in Central Point, volunteers turned out to the Central Point Cemetery to prep the gravesites for flags to be placed at veterans' gravestones. Volunteers turned out Friday morning to the Central Point Cemetery and rolled up their sleeves and fired up lawnmowers and weed whackers, all in preparations for Memorial Weekend.
And many of the people that are going to be honored on that day in that service, many of them are buried here, right in the cemetery. And their flags will be put on all of the grave sites of the veterans.
Volunteer coordinator Dirk Sidlecki says Friday's efforts touched up 2 large-scale projects from earlier this spring to get rid of overgrown brush. Sidlecki says the cemetery has a long history, and residents are taking pride in it once again.
This is a pioneer cemetery. It's all of the history of Central Point stops and ends here, if you will.
The cemetery was vandalized more than 2 years ago, and the damaged gravestones still remain toppled over. Don Bonert volunteered Friday, and his family's gravesite was one of the areas vandalized.
Oh, I was kind of disgusted about it, you know. It's pride to have the family here and have them in one place.
The parents of the youth accused of the vandalism have put up $5,000 to the owners of the cemetery for the gravesites to be repaired. Volunteers say the site should be restored in the next 2 weeks, a long-awaited relief to Bonert.
If they leave them like this, it just encourages more people for more vandalism.
Sidlecki says until the repairs to the gravesites are completed, keeping up with the landscaping around the cemetery should deter any future vandalism.
People think twice. They know that people do care and people may be watching. Who knows?
It's unknown the exact number of veterans buried here at the Central Point Cemetery, but red, white, and blue can already be seen marking several of the grave sites. In Central Point, Rob Scott, Newswatch 12.